Hey everybody, Average Picker, and you are seeing Alimony again, which means I did not get the package in the mail because I woke up too late. So as long as I keep waking up too late, I'm gonna keep trying this one. I'll say a couple things real quick. First, I've not really put in any time in between the last video and this one with this lock. And normally I would say try something different, all right? Like maybe try bottom of the keyway tension or something like that. And I did dabble with that for a couple minutes, but the tensioner didn't sit real well in there. I'd also say change picks maybe. And there is enough room. You can, from this little ledge here, or even from the bottom with like a 15 thousandths, you could probably get up in there with something steep. I'm still sticking with the Tron and or my bent out Attila. I don't feel like in this case it's a shortcoming on the picks part, if that makes any sense. So I don't feel like switching the picks is going to necessarily gain me anything substantial. So I'd rather stick with a pick that I'm comfortable with. I think I've got a little more gain from being in my comfort zone than moving to something steeper and trying something totally different. But normally, yeah, switching up techniques would probably be a good idea. But I am able to get from this little ledge quite easily in here. So that's why I'm just kind of going with the same thing. Sometimes, yeah, this might not be the ideal pick for the lock. But I don't feel like it's hindering me either. Actually, I had a whole different video I was going to do tonight. But as long as I've got this one in my possession, I think I'm just going to keep doing it instead. I've got this, on a whole side note, I also have this fascination I always have with synthesizers, and I'm starting to find myself eyeing synths again for the millionth time. I've got a sneaky suspicion I'm going to pull the trigger on one soonish. We'll see. I love all those weird sounds. So, hopefully, I don't think it's going to take over lockpicking. I'll see myself becoming a synth person to where it's kills this hobby off as well. Though lockpicking did kill a lot of my sketching. Going much slower here. Some of that is when I use the bent out Attila, it's a stronger pick, and it's got a little bit more, but enough that it makes a difference. You can feel a substantial shaft on it. It tends to make me go a little bit quicker because I don't mind putting a little more force on it. But when I switch to some of these other little more sensitive picks like the Tron, though the Tron will hold up quite a long time, but I do find that it slows me down. It's not a bad thing. It also makes me pay far more attention to my tensioning. Because again, with that bent out Attila I've got, and I call it the bent out because it's an Attila, but I've used it so much it's almost a Tron in steepness. I can power through harder tension with it a lot of times, which isn't always what you want. So, I've said it before, I think when I reviewed some of the Lawlock picks, if you find yourself with using heavy tension and trying to break that habit, get yourself a fragile pick, you may find that it forces you into using less tension, because you can definitely feel it. Some of these pins I'm spending a little more time on, and I'm kind of wiggling them a little bit more because I'm suspecting there's threading. So I just want to make sure I'm not getting... Right now I'm having a hard time finding feedback. I'm like, maybe a pin is just hung up on some thread. And then you can't really tell, but I am slightly alternating how much tension I'm using. Oh, something just dropped. Man, it's just not feeling anywhere right now. Little tiny bit of feedback back there, so I'm just going to really lighten tension. There we go. No, there's not too bad of a false. I think the false I want is a little more false than that. Could be wrong. There is some feedback up front. Pin 1, I kind of know that already. Very light tension on it right now. Oh, there's a little bit more. Okay. Three feels quite bound up. Little tiny click on 1. I'm not sure if that's really, it could just be the tip of the pick falling off. Alright, it's got a little bit more it wants to do. Getting nervous when it starts getting that high though, because oh gosh, start thinking, oh, I'm gonna drop everything, which it sounds like a lot did fall. But sometimes you've got to move a little backwards to move a little forwards. It's all feeling all right. Oh. I think we're in for a reset. Movement again. We've already hit 10 minutes. Based on how I get that deep false sometimes, that's why I keep thinking there must be a pin and pin in here, because it's almost like there's a bit of random element. I feel like I know what's going to happen too. I feel like this is going to be a fail. And I'm going to do it off camera and get the lock in like a minute. So I keep feeling like, oh, if I cut the camera off now, I'm probably right on the edge of getting it. So that lift there is the first time I felt like maybe it's the pick. Maybe my pick choice isn't that great. So it almost felt like it could nudge it a tiny bit further. And I wasn't feeling the lift. Then I think about the lock type, and there shouldn't be a whole lot of lift left there anyway. I also think the tensioner is hiding pin 1 a little bit, and that is causing a little bit of an issue. A little bit of movement on the core there. Probably not enough to see on the camera, but I certainly felt it. Oh, everything hadn't fallen. I just thought it had. Now everything's fallen. All right. Okay, now the lock definitely just really loosened up. Okay, that's pin 1. I'm getting that. Oh, we got a little bit more of a false there. Did you see that? Slipped just a tad further. So I wonder. Okay, that was one. God, that was an ugly lift, I know. I don't feel like I lost anything. Maybe though the back is starting to have a little bit more of a spring feel to it now again. That felt Like, it was really close. I know this video is now hitting 15-minute mark. I'm gonna go on though, because that felt close. That felt like somewhere I just made a poor decision. Let's see if we can get back there. This is when you start to wish locks were like video games and you could save scrub, because I just want to keep going back to that state and trying different things. Good, good, good. That was an ugly lift on my part, but that, what is going on there? That just seemed to bring some spring back. I feel like I can get this lock anywhere I want it to be, except, or anywhere I don't want it to be. I kind of know what's going to bring back some of these bits, but I can't quite put it where I want it. And the reset. Normally I'm going from 5 to 6 when I start. This time I went 5 to 3. Take that with a grain of salt. I think that's what it was. I don't think that was, but it may not have been exactly that pin. Oh. It seems to almost fall into that false when I let tension off, then all of a sudden it will jaunt forward a little bit. Ah. Maybe instead of 2 clicks, I should just do the 1. I know these ones where it doesn't open are not as interesting necessarily to see, but I think it's important to have non-opens up. I don't know if you have to put up every non-open, but keep realistic expectations, and you just don't always get, I messed that up, get locks open. we go. Yeah, there is definitely, the way that pin reacts to coming off of it, and it drops into a bit of a false, that feels like kind of what a pin and pin would do. 'Cause a little portion of it would just be falling back in. Oh, that was just horribly sloppy. We're going to keep going with it though anyway. All right. I want to try something. How high will that pin go and keep? Wow. I'm just experimenting. I've got the, so the pin will not actually bind. I'm just looking for some kind of click limit on it. And it really does just go on. Never quite fully finds its home. So what would cause that? Is that just pushing a sheath? I think I had my one good chance at it. And I probably messed it up when I was lifting pin 1. That's what I think. That was luck saying, okay, I'll let you get me to the end. And then it said, oh, nope, wrong choice. All right. Oh gosh, 23 minutes. Oh. I know if I try to pick this off camera, it will just open right up on me. Just keep documenting. All right, everybody. Have a good one.